Hello there, and welcome to Digital Dust, The Man Will Talk. In the spirit of post-show podcasts like The Talking Dead that explore the reactions, the ins and outs, and the behind the scenes of our favorite shows, The Man Will Talk will be unpacking each of the 4 episodes of the HBO Max documentary, The Man Will Burn. But we're not doing this from a studio lot. We're doing it from here inside BurnerSphere, formerly known as BRCvr, an official virtual Burning Man experience, which is featured prominently in the documentary. So what better place to have this conversation? And if you haven't had the chance to experience BurnerSphere for yourself, you can do so on your Mac, your PC, PCVR, or Quest VR headset. It's easy. Just go to burnersphere.com to get started. And because we really look forward to meeting you, we will gift you a free month. Just enter the code Digital Dust, and that code will be valid until the gates open at Black Rock City 2026. So tonight we're breaking down episode 1, The Great Unknown. Burning Man's journey from a bonfire on a San Francisco beach to an 80,000 person city in the desert, including first timers packing their bags, veterans bracing for what's coming, and a pandemic closing in that no one saw coming. So we want to be clear here. We are not representing HBO, Burning Man Project, or any other affiliated entities involved in the show. Any opinions expressed on this podcast are solely of the people featured here. Oh, and spoiler alert, we will be talking all about episode 1 of the HBO Max documentary, The Man Will Burn. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, come back and join us. It'll also make a lot more sense. I am Justin Gunn, aka Just Justin, a producer here at BurnerSphere, along with BRCvr and BurnerSphere co-founders Athena and Doug Jacobson. And our very special guest is one of the featured characters in the documentary, BRCvr's own Lindsay Handren. So welcome, guys. Yeah, this is fun.
Pony
Yeah.
girl or
Pony girl.
or VR girl.
Horse girl.
Horse girl. Sorry. Horse
Yeah.
I like
Horse
pony
girl.
girl a little bit better.
Horse girl.
VR
I don't know
girl.
that. Yeah.
So Lindsay, the horse girl in the room here, you
Yeah.
are one of the featured characters in this documentary. That's all about Burning Man. And can you just start out by telling us how you ended up in this documentary in the first place?
After 2020 and having worked on the virtual 2020 burn, in 2021, a production company approached Athena and Doug about a documentary on Burning Man history, and in 2021, the virtual burn had become part of Burning Man history. And they asked if there was anyone interesting on the team that they should talk to. And Athena told them, oh, this girl, Lindsay, she helped us build and create the virtual Burning Man, having never actually been to Playa. And also, she's this horse girl and also teaches psychology in college, and also has a cute dog.
That's right.
Super cute dog. I will confirm.
It's
super
really
cute
all
dog.
about. It's really all about the dog. Little Bean.
Wait,
She's
great.
a
All right, so let's go on. Let's move on to the documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
so we're going to dive into this documentary and kind of go this first episode called The Great Unknown, and we're going to kind of go through it a little bit chronologically here and share some, hopefully you could share some insights, and we'll kind of give our perspectives on what we saw. So it starts out with very much an intro to Burning Man. Full disclosure here, both Doug and myself are filmmakers who have spent, the last 2 decades, doing video projects at Burning Man in addition to doing video projects here in BurnerSphere. So we're a little bit biased. How did we feel Burning Man came off in that first episode, particularly in that open? Did it tell the story well? Did it fall into the trap of sensationalism? Did it put the hooks in for you guys? And really through the lens, I'm thinking of this audience that HBO, the reach that they have, there's so many people that will have never heard about Burning Man. Do we think it was successful in kind of capturing the feeling of what Burning Man is and what it represents, as complicated of a task as that is?
Well, it seems like they had a lot of ground to cover very quickly. You know how first episodes of a TV show have so many setups to do, it gets a little grueling.
Yeah.
And in this case, I felt that was the case here. But they spent like 6 minutes burning you through great looking footage as fast as possible. Excuse me, as fast as possible. And then they're off into the then we're suddenly finding ourselves in an office.
Yeah.
Kind of which didn't
Boardroom.
annoy me as much as it did you.
I think they made their choice to set up the core story, which is the
Right,
drama
that's
that
the
unfolds
spine.
during this time. And I think you made a great point to me when I was kind of, kvetching about, they could have done so much more after we watched the first episode.
They have 3 more episodes.
That
Yeah,
there's
more to
3 more
go.
episodes. Yeah, and it's not necessarily meant to be in that first episode a end all be all story about what happens out on the playa. They just wanted to set it up and sort of pique people's interest. So I do think the first episode picks up in the second half and we start to meet the artists. But again, that's my bias. I'm fascinated more personally as a filmmaker with the people who build Burning Man, the artists, the camp leads. I'm fascinated with their stories. That's my bias, and there was less of that, and there was more bureaucracy. But we see later on that setting up that what happens behind the scenes is such an integral part of the story. So
I think it's really good
give it room to take off, I would say.
I think it's good for everyone to see the boardroom meeting with, Marion and Harley and Kimball and the rest. And I kind of felt sorry for Marion because everyone's coming at her with their very strong opinion of a go, no go. And Kimball, obviously, it seems like he just like, I gave money to party, you better give me a party. So,
yeah, well, we could talk. We should talk about Kimball.
Well, this is the boardroom meeting that we're at right now in this story. So.
Yeah, it is true.
I agree, actually. I mean, I didn't like that the first episode was mainly boardroom man. Everybody clued in because they wanted to see the eye candy of Burning Man. But I do like that they opened up their doors to what goes on behind the scenes. Like, this is a massive organization. It's not 5 people just like on calls making it happen. Like, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are making the event happen, and not just the event, but the coordinating with the regionals and all the artists and everything. So being able to see the care at which the organization treats the entire community and takes them into consideration, and how they come up to their decisions, I think is very important.
I do worry, though, that from a storytelling standpoint, for an audience that knows nothing about Burning Man, that to have so much of that first episode jump you right into a boardroom with people that you don't know who they are and you're not sure why you should care. I worry about audience retention from the first episode. But again, if people can get through that, then I hope they come back, because again, that second episode really picks up and really gets exciting.
Let's move on to
no
the next
spoilers.
part.
No spoilers. All right. So I think we have to talk about the Kimball in the room. That guy is weird. That guy is really weird. I mean, his brother is weird. He is weird. There's something about, I think something happens to, I don't know if you're just weird, if you need to be weird to be a billionaire or in the billionaire class, or if becoming a billionaire makes you that weird. I don't know what the answer is.
Burning Man attracts the weird. It attracts the people that are on the outskirts of normal. I wish I could do quotation marks. Normal society. I can do quote normal. There we go. Normal society. And I say all 4 of us are pretty weird. If you like compare us to the rest of our families, I think we're all kind, except for Doug, I think we're all kind of the black sheep of the family.
Yes.
And
I am.
he's no different. Like, I know that people like Kimball or even Elon saw Burning Man as their church. Elon said, Burning Man is my church. And they went every year. They've gone for decades and been a part of the community. So, his personality might rub people the wrong way, and the way he speaks and the way he says things.
should a donation come with strings and representation?
that's the
or if you're
implication
donating
here.
to Burning Man, shouldn't you just make a donation to Burning Man and say, go with Larry and keep going and do what you're doing, rather than trying to assume some level of control.
There's a
Come on now. I
$100
mean, that's
donation and
yeah, exactly.
millions of dollars
When
whatever
you
it
have
is,
a
5,
very
10.
large donation in most not-for-profit organizations, it does come with,
Yeah.
you want to know where your money's going, and you want somebody to be as a representative to know where your money's going. So I totally get why they did that. And it was for their survival, because Burning Man couldn't happen in 2020. The donation came for
That's
the
true.
survival of the org. It wasn't going to survive without it. There were several people, not just one. There were several people that made large donations. This one was the largest.
And to be clear,
I'm not speaking for the org, and as I have heard it, this one was the largest, so it came with a board seat.
Look,
That board seat
I don't fault the board for taking the money. Burning Man needs the money, right?
Yeah,
it's just
it was for the survival.
But I think the discussion is what is the influence of this money on the decision making of the org, and is it a toxic influence? But it was also a survival influence.
It was a survival need, but it obviously didn't influence it, because he said his words, and he wanted 21 to happen.
Yeah,
and it didn't.
That's true.
And it didn't.
And it
so
didn't.
that shows you how
and
much
this is in
influence he
episode 2.
actually had.
They do have where she says, she's the final.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah.
No spoilers.
Okay. All right. Well, we've beaten that one down into the boardroom table here. Let's. The episode moves forward, and we meet some of the characters that we're going to follow throughout the series. We meet Level, who's in charge of placement. We kind of go back into his personal life, and we learn about his upbringing and how he found his tribe at Burning Man. And then we meet Lindsay. So, Lindsay, what was it like having this crew come into your house?
It was a trip, to be honest. And it was still like obviously pandemic time, 2021. So people were still taking precautions and everything. Oddly enough, I had never even had friends over. The first time someone had ever even been in that apartment when I lived there was legitimately a film crew, which is not something I ever would have imagined myself saying a decade ago. But it was interesting. It still is extremely surreal, like thinking that I was interesting enough for them to want to follow. But
they caught you off guard, didn't they? Like
they did catch
me
me
off
over
guard, like with very little notice.
Yeah, right? There was they did catch me off guard. They came over on multiple occasions. So one particular time that they came to my apartment, I did not find out until about 11 p.m. the night before that there was going to be a film crew showing up the next morning at like 9 a.m. And me just living at home by myself, my place could get a little bit messy because, I mean, no one else is there. So what's the point of putting everything away all the time? So it initiated a panic cleaning spree, and like so I spent pretty much all night like panic cleaning and did not really get much sleep. I was not like prepared for like prime time at that point, which documentaries want it to be real and authentic. It's not like Love Island, where it's reality show type thing where everybody's like full glam all the time. So yeah, they caught me very authentic and raw in my element. Right off the bat, they came in when I was just like all like flustered and scattered, and started asking about my dead mom, which obviously is going to be quite emotional. And yeah, they got it.
Well, Jeez.
Yeah,
They got
they
the
pulled that old
shot. They were
trick.
probably in
They
the
got
background
the
going,
very,
They were
very
high-fiving in the
authentic,
background. Yeah, we
very
got
raw,
Yeah.
very real emotion, very real grief.
What are you thinking at this point? Because this is really your first sort of moment where they started shooting with you. This is long before your story unfolds in the documentary. So what
Yeah.
was your perception? Did you think I'm going to be a bit player? Did you have any sense that you were going to become a
I
main
had
character of this entire
I had
documentary?
no idea that I was going to become like a featured character that they followed. I thought that I was just going to be, a little segment about the VR thing, but not much else. And seeing how well, I haven't even seen all the episodes. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so I don't even know
It's true.
um how much of my journey is going to happen in the following episodes.
Well, Doug pointed
Right.
out on IMDb the billing order of the characters for the entire series. And how does it go, Doug? It's number one is
Kimball Musk.
Kimball Musk.
Kimball is number 1, but Lindsay's number
Yeah.
2 on the call sheet there. And then Larry
Yeah.
Harvey. Larry Harvey himself is number
Yeah.
3.
No,
You got
That
billed
is
over
still
Larry
Lindsay,
Harvey.
you got top billing over Larry Harvey. What does that feel like?
It feels fake. Like, what?
Random.
Doug showed me that on the thing after the first episode had premiered, and I'm still confused. How? Like, it's this billionaire guy, tech guy, me, this regular ass horse girl, like, what? And then the fucking founder of Burning Man itself, like, how? What?
And those
I
IMDb
can't.
is not random in order. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I don't know
it's not
anything about that either.
doesn't
I was like,
mean
oh, it's probably just like
anything.
alphabetical. I'm like, oh wait, nope, that's not alphabetical.
You've never been in a documentary before, right? This is your first time seeing yourself
yeah.
on camera like that?
Yeah.
What is it like seeing yourself on camera and watching that? Is it weird?
Terrifying. It's yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, obviously I signed up for it, but again, I didn't realize like the magnitude my story would have. And then seeing myself pop up there, like, it's weird hearing your own voice in recordings.
It is.
So then seeing my face and also hearing my voice on TV, it's just it's hard to comprehend. Like, oh, that's me. It's been
That's why we're all avatars, by the way, here.
That's
right, exactly. So you first saw the episodes because the first 2 episodes premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York.
Yeah.
So you actually were in a room with the cast and the crew and Burning Man .org and everyone seeing it for the first time. You didn't see it before Tribeca, right?
I did not see it before Tribeca. That was it was actually kind of interesting when I had become like pretty close with their crew and the production team and everything throughout the years of filming. And when I got to Tribeca, like, I first got out of the Uber there and went and was saying hi to everybody. And the director of photography, Benji, was like, "Oh my God, have you seen this yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't seen anything." And he said, "You know, you have a very significant role in this, right?" I was like, "What? Nope, I did not know that, but cool." And I still in my head was like, no, he's just saying that to be nice. Like, I don't feel like I'm someone worthy of being main character.
Right.
I don't know.
So the series is clearly setting up 3 characters that are journeying to Burning Man, you being one of them. We also meet Ray from North Carolina, and his family comes from a very different walk of life. Funny. Veteran, very funny, very funny. And then we also, let's talk about Ray a little bit. Any thoughts about his sort of thread?
But I had never met Ray. I didn't know his story. I didn't know his backstory until I watched the series itself.
I see.
So I met him briefly. I think said hi. There were a lot of people at the premiere. So I saw him at the premiere, but I I don't really like know him as a person, but watching the film, I'm like, oh my God, Ray's my favorite character. I love him. He's just
Yeah.
I love his story.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah, I
also
agree.
meet Zoe and her
Yeah.
mom, who she's
Yeah, that
bringing
was
to
a
Burning
great
Man.
story. Zoe seems colorful.
She's the veteran burner.
She's the vet with
Yeah.
she's the vet, and
Bringing her mom to
on-
Burning Man.
she's on the side of if you were to she's going to the playa like Kimball, like Michael, regardless of COVID or whatever happens.
And that's really the conceit of this whole episode, and really, truly, much of this series, at least, for the first 2 episodes. But it's the idea of should they or shouldn't they, weighing the risk of putting people's, health and potentially lives in danger versus, the continuing of this thing on an annual basis. And so there's definitely those in the camp of let's be cautious, let's not do anything dangerous. And those that say, hey, Burning Man is inherently dangerous. It's always been dangerous. You assume the right, you assume the risk of serious injury or death when you buy your ticket. Go. I think Kimball said in this episode, he said, let's just do it and let's see where, I'm paraphrasing, but let's see where the cards land, And so those are kind of the two
I think
opposing
this
viewpoints.
Is sort of there's another thing growing here, which is the sort of an indictment of organization as a bad thing.
Right.
The purity of chaos versus. And I always say, there's basically it's accelerator people versus brakes people, and that really comes off in episode 2.
No spoilers.
But we do get into that a little bit more in episode 2. But I would say here it's a go and no go, and I think the people have something against the organization in general.
Right.
Maybe that it's not needed or not valued.
And next we meet Diva Marisa, who is one of the leads of Death Guild that operates the Thunderdome. By the way, we have Death Guild and we have Thunderdome here in BurnerSphere.
And
just a quick
by the way,
plug.
we have
and Diva Marisa has been in here. That's right.
Yeah.
She was and she was a character in here, and we have a whole immersive documentary about Thunderdome and Diva Marisa, so come and check it out. But she definitely takes the side early on that Death Guild's not going to do it, that Thunderdome's not coming, even if they decide that to go ahead with Burning Man, and that has an effect, a visible emotional effect on Marion, where she's really kind of taken aback by it.
I think she was taken back by the fact that they didn't reach out to her first and let her know that they were going to do this, that they put this public statement out on the social media channels of what they were doing and didn't tell Burning Man ahead of time that this is what they were planning on doing. And that is when I watched the episode, that's what I felt that really stung for Marion, because for people like Marisa and several other big organizations who have been going to Burning Man a long time. I think Thunderdome's first year was 99 or 98. We've known Marion. We've known Marion for a long time. We consider her a friend, and to not have reached out and been like, hey, we're getting ready to put out this public statement saying that we're not going no matter what the org decides. Yeah, I kind of see where that would sting.
No matter what anybody's opinion of Marion as CEO of Burning Man, this woman cannot catch a break in terms, she can't win. And you know what I mean? No matter what she does, she cannot win. Someone's going to be upset with her. She's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. And I think that's a really kind of a what's important about this documentary, or I think what's good about seeing this element of it, is that it really humanizes her in a way where I happen to sit at the head of a board of a nonprofit that does a local festival, and it is a thankless job, and it is hard, and everybody has an opinion, but nobody wants to take the kind of responsibility that it takes to lead. So I empathize with her, and I don't think there's any easy way out for her, and I think I think it's brave of her to sort of open it up and let people see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I had done a Renaissance Fair documentary, the history of the Renaissance Fair. And one of the things I noticed there, and I see echoed in other places, was that all the people always want to kill the leadership, no matter how good or
Yeah.
bad or good they're doing.
Yeah.
They just want to. The leadership has got to die, or they're doing it wrong.
The
or
man,
they're not gonna do
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They're the man. She's the man, and they
Yeah.
want to get rid of her. Again, comes up again in episode 2. No spoilers. But it's very fascinating to me how when you have a lot of people that are passionate about a scene, how much they want to get rid of the leadership, or the leadership's always wrong. And
Yeah.
I kind of see this pattern
she
happening
has
in a lot of places.
she has always had the community's interest first. That's
Yeah.
always been her focal point.
Yeah, but
Is
we
community
live in
first.
conspiracy
It's not about
theory land.
I know, but it's not about paychecks. It's not about, anything that we see when somebody's the head of an organization or the head of a company, that their ego gets involved, or that Marion's not like that. Like,
Yeah.
she really is always looking out for what is best for the community. And
Well, and
she
hopefully
did
that
this for a long time without a paycheck. A long,
Yep.
long time, just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Well, for her sake, I hope that comes across and continues to come across,
I
I
guess
hope
which
so
what
too.
she's up
a,
against.
a lot of people are like, she's getting paid she's getting paid money. The Burning Man offices are nice. Like they want them to be living in a squalor and getting paid $20,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, moving
Yeah,
forward,
people
as
need
the
to
doc moves forward, it
survive.
takes a kind of in my mind, kind of a strange turn where suddenly we're introduced to, drum roll, Grover Norquist. Ooh, there's an exciting
Yeah,
name we haven't
I
heard since
know. I was
what,
like, what?
like 1990s? I don't know if there's anybody under the age of 50 who would even know who Grover Norquist is, and why do we care that Grover Norquist went to Burning Man and what he thinks about it? Does anybody care?
Well, I think it's an effort in a documentary way for them to show that, look, it's not just lefties going to Burning Man. The Republicans who you would never think go to Burning Man and have an
Yeah.
experience, or a libertarian experience. So they're trying to show that there's a diversity of political thought going to Burning Man. I
Yeah.
think that's how I
And he
interpreted that
didn't.
segment.
And he said
I
he
think
didn't
so
go
too. I
just
agree.
one time. He
Yeah,
goes every year. Like,
Yeah, he's a burner.
it's his thing. He is a burner. And
It's just a bit.
to be a burner doesn't mean that you have a political leaning or any particular religion or anything. Like, it applies to everyone. To be a burner means that you hold what Larry wrote, which was the 10 principles, in your heart. And he wrote it as a description of what it looks like when we're at our best. They're really the 10 principles of humanity, what it looks like when we are acting as a humanity. And so for people of varying different political thought, various different philosophical thought, religious thought, to come together around these things is unifying.
Well,
we
it was
like
for
that
me. It was
unifying
around this
feeling.
time that I'm watching Grover Norquist that I'm just thinking, my God, artists. You like, show me something big and bitchin' and cool and
Yeah.
beautiful, and mercifully after Grover Norquist, we finally kind of get to the artist, and we get to Mayan Warrior, and we
Pablo.
see some of Pablo, and we see some of
Yeah.
what's being built. We get to finally meet some of the artists behind Burning Man, but it isn't until, like more than halfway into the episode. So it was
Yeah.
definitely a slow burn to get there, but again, that's my bias. I feel those are the most interesting stories in Burning Man, are the people that make the stuff and build the stuff and create this incredible city. So finally, it kind of picked up again. So yeah, we finally got to see some of Mayan Warrior.
Yeah, Mayan Warrior's great, classic. That
Mayan
car
Warrior's
burned to the
fun.
ground, which is sad.
Yeah.
And they built a new Mayan Warrior. Those guys out of
It's called
Mexico. They
Galaxer.
also
What's it called?
Yeah, and then
Galaxer,
Oh, nice.
very
the
cool.
new car.
And then
It's gorgeous. It's huge.
And then there was they mentioned Robot Heart and some of the other big art cars. They had Chef Juke on there, who is head of DMV for the vehicles, and we landed on the Carousel, if I recall, car with sort of a real builder DIY.
Oh, the a caballo. Yeah,
I think
the
that's an
horses
episode
and
2, no? Or is that 1?
One.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it one?
My bad.
One.
Sorry.
In the art car segment, in one.
So
I think
we
it's
get
in
we get
one.
we get to meet a few of the artists, and we start to kind of dive into those stories a little bit, and then the story comes back toward the end of the episode, back to the big decision. What's going to happen for 2021? And Marion, goes on the live feed and she makes the announcement that Burning Man will not happen in the Black Rock Desert in 2021, which then sets up the sort of well, then now what's going to happen? And the response among burners who are said, well, we finally get to see what will happen perhaps without the org. So it's like, there's a lot of people out there that say, hey, we don't need the org, we can do this, we can do it ourselves.
Right.
And so it's setting up for episode 2. What happens when a bunch of people go out to Burning Man without that organizational layer? And that's sort of the cliffhanger for episode 2.
She actually said
Yeah.
something that stuck with me that I repeat and quote all the time. I'm going to paraphrase. But basically, she said, you can cancel Black Rock City, but you can't cancel Burning Man.
Yeah.
She said it much more eloquently, but she basically makes the statement of like, Burning Man's in our hearts. Burning Man it happens all over the world. Black Rock City is not going to happen, but Burning Man is still going to happen. And I think that is what was really the impetus for people to be like, oh, we can keep doing this without the org.
I remember
So
that
it's
from 2021 in her announcement, and I remember you talking about that, Athena, and how it's still Burning Man. It's not a physical location, but it's in our
Right.
hearts. It's here, and and then
It's here. It's
full steam
BRCvr. It's
ahead.
BurnerSphere.
Yeah.
It's, like this is people are like, oh, I'd rather go in person. And I'm like, I would rather go in person too, but
Right.
I can't go on a random Thursday. On a random Thursday, I can come to Burning Man in BurnerSphere. So
Well,
it might not be Black Rock City, but it's Burning Man.
We were all in a unique position because we were spending so much of our time through the the first year of the pandemic in BRCvr with so many other people, and so when they said one more year, we're like, well,
all right,
okay, let's
go.
do it again.
Okay, let's
yeah.
Yeah, I do want to point out something that was interesting and Zoe actually picks up on this in the doc, is that
Zoe.
the way Zoe, is it Zoe or Zoe?
Zoe.
It's Zoe.
Sorry, Zoe. Zoe picks up on this, where the way Marion worded it, it was almost like they took it as permission for them to go out.
Wink,
to the
wink.
playa.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wink, wink,
We're not going to do it. Yeah.
And I thought that was I thought she was right about that. I don't know if Marion was trying to do that, but she was kind of like
it definitely gave people
Good luck.
the sense.
yeah, it definitely gave people the sense.
I listened to Marion's announcement, live when it came out, and I didn't take it that way. So when I was watching the episode and she was like, "Oh, she's giving us permission to just go out to the desert," I was like, okay, I guess I can see that interpretation, but
we all read what we want to read, right?
That's exactly right. We all read what we want to read.
Okay, and that brings us to the end
let's go
of episode 1, The Great Unknown. And what do we think? What's our high level takeaway? I'll go first. I thought it started out a little slow. For a first time viewer that never heard of Burning Man, it might have been a little confusing about what it is, beyond some of the drone shots and pretty pictures, and that one shot at gate of just the obligatory topless women in the dust rolling around. I thought, oh, really? But other than that, I thought halfway through the episode, I thought it picked up. We got some good characters, we got some good character development. The stakes definitely stepped up, and I think we got set up on a nice cliffhanger for episode 2. So all in all, I would say my grade was a B-, for the first episode.
Yeah.
What do you think, Athena?
I would say that each one of the character introductions, including Grover, were a way for the audience to connect to a character. Even Burning Man itself was a character. So I feel like they were giving us this plethora of possibilities to grab as wide of an audience as possible for people to connect to, and I think that's what they were doing. I thought it was really well done and good storytelling, but I also felt, yeah, it was a little slow in going, and I would have liked cut-ins of more eye candy, because Burning Man is just so much eye candy. Now I have no doubt that we're gonna get it in episode 2 and episode 3 and 4, but for this first episode, yeah, and I would give it a B plus, maybe an A minus, somewhere in there. If I had to
Okay.
grade, I'm not much
A little
of a
more generous.
grader.
A little more
Yeah.
generous.
I think it's a
Okay.
little bit better than what you said, because I see the connection they were going for. Doug?
I would say they had a to-do list that was rather long that they had to get through. They were trying to hit it all, and that became a little bit exhausting. But I also have empathy for all the shit they were trying to get done. So I would give it a B minus, but I also was like, I saw they dipped back into Burning Man stuff occasionally. So yeah, what about you?
I will give it an A, because obviously I'm biased, but no, I think they
And
did a
mildly
good. I mean,
narcissistic.
as somebody who also was new to Burning Man not that long ago, it's such a massive concept to try to explain, or like, whatever. I think they did a really good job introducing everybody, setting up context for what happens in the episodes to come, because like you guys said, there's so much. Like, how do you even like begin? Where do you begin? So I think they did a great job. I think it was great meeting the different characters, seeing what goes on in the boardroom. I don't know what people are expecting or what I was even expecting, but some stuff, like I've seen chatter online, whatever, about there's so many Burning Man documentaries already. Like, what's the point of this? There's so many, and you could go on YouTube, whatever, like all sorts of sites, and find Burning Man stuff where it's just like, day in the life, shooting footage, the eye candy. So I think I was expecting more of that, but this came in as like, we're really getting deep into the history, the roots of
Yeah.
Burning Man, how it became what it is, and what makes it so special and being what it is. So I think episode 1 did a great job of like setting up
Okay.
background, giving
Yeah.
context, and
Fair
giving
enough.
that like insider look at the people that make it happen, what goes on in the boardroom, all that stuff.
Definitely a different take than we've ever seen before, including
That is true.
Doug's
That's true.
wonderful film Journey to the Flames. My effort with current TV is TV Free Burning Man.
Yes.
It's a different take on it. It's refreshing to see, and it's something that we've never seen before, and there is more to come. And that brings us
Yeah.
to the end of our first episode of Digital
man.
Dust. The Man Will Talk.
Yes.
Episode by episode exploration of HBO Max's Burning Man documentary series, The Man Will Burn. We are here in BurnerSphere. You can join us in BurnerSphere. We'd love to see you. There's so much to explore. We have wonderful documentaries of our own, very different take on it, less drama, more spectacle, but come play with us. You can find us at BurnerSphere.com. You can sign up there on your Mac, your PC. You can do it in PCVR, or like we're doing.
No headset required.
No headset required, but if you have a headset,
required.
it's a lot of fun.
If you have a
and we will see you
have
next
hands.
time. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you
Should we
next
wave?
episode.
Should we wave? We should wave.
Yeah.
Let's wave.
Well, we have hands. We should wave.
Oh yeah. All right. Hey.